All right, the polls closing in less than 3 hours, and voter turnout is said to be very high. The White House already trying to distance itself from a possible loss in Massachusetts. Rahm Emanuel saying it's Coakley's fault if she loses. So, with losses in New Jersey, losses in Virginia, and potentially a Mac Daddy loss in liberal la-la land, is the Obama legacy already that of a loser? Let's ask liberal talk show host and friend of ours, Leslie Marshall. Leslie, what about it? Boy, it seems like everywhere he campaigns, he stumps. He ain't helping out too much. What's your take?
Well, my take is if that's how we're looking at it, then wow, George Bush should just put an L right up here going back. But let's get in the present. Actually, it is not, in my opinion, the president's responsibility to get people elected in their states. I am born, bred, and raised in Massachusetts, and after they smacked my bottom, I had to sign Democratic papers and that I would worship and vote for the Kennedys. And I'll tell you, in the state of Massachusetts, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, one thing that Massachusetts people like is hard work. I come from that background and that ethic, and I've got to say here that if Coakley loses, it was hers to lose. I think she was overconfident,
Leslie,
and she just didn't work as hard. But I don't think she's going to lose.
No, let me do this. Let me do this. Bill Clinton went there. He went to Massachusetts on Friday. He said, this is our candidate. She's going to perpetuate everything we started. She's going to finish what we started. Then Obama went on Sunday. Big speech. First of all, out of touch, saying that I wouldn't get into the truck with the other candidate. Meanwhile, it's a GM truck. We have a shot of that in a minute. My point is here. Up until today, up until this morning, when the polls showed Brown with a major lead, everyone was saying, Coakley's our girl. Now, Dems all over the place. Rahm Emanuel saying, boy, I don't know about her. She should have worked a lot harder. I mean, a little late to start backing out of that campaign, right?
I don't think it's backing out of the campaign. I'm not. I support her, and if I were voting in the state of Massachusetts, I would vote for her. But I still call it like I see it, and she should have worked harder. I agree with Rahm Emanuel, and I think whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you can't take it for granted, even if the polls show that you have a huge lead, because as you see, you never know what's going to happen when the fat lady gets up to sing, although she has not sung yet, and I'm still confident that Ms. Coakley will be victorious in Massachusetts. And I really hope, not only because I am a liberal Democrat and I am a woman, but I also hope for the in the spirit of paying homage to Ted Kennedy in the state of Massachusetts, if nothing else. But you have to look at the reality, and the reality is you have a Republican that was dressed in Democratic clothing named Mitt Romney, who put together a health care plan in Massachusetts that many people in my family are complaining about, and a lot of people in Massachusetts may want change because of that.
Leslie, let me talk about this for a second here. You know, there are people who say the Obama administration, we expected change, we didn't want that, this kind of change. All of a sudden today, Nancy Pelosi says, we're going to have health care, like it or not. Is she just absolutely out of touch? I think the polls are showing somewhere around 2/3 of the people who are involved, who have an opinion, don't want health care reform, yet she says you're getting it anyway. Out of touch?
No, I wouldn't say out of touch. I think this is sadly a deja vu moment. We saw it in the Clinton administration, and Americans do this on so many issues. Healthcare reform is just one example of that. We really want something. We're impatient. We want it wrapped up in a pretty bow. We don't want to pay for it, and then we get fickle, and then we get scared when
this, Leslie.
the talking heads like myself start to talk about it.
I hate to do it.
No, that is not true. It depends which poll you look at. No, Americans want health care reform if there's a public option. Without a public option, and I would agree with those people, it is not a reformation of the current health care system. And I don't think that Ms. Pelosi or anyone else in Washington should work so hastily to get this done. This is a long time in the making of need for reformation, and I believe that they should work slowly and cautiously and not have something watered down just to get something passed. And I'm a liberal Democrat saying that.
Yes or no answer on this? If you're running for Congress in a couple of months, would you want Obama campaigning for you, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, no. All right, Leslie Marshall. Joe
I
Wilson,
said yes.
you
Don't change my words.
I think you're lying. I think you're telling me a little fib there. Leslie Marshall, thanks for joining us today.
I don't lie. I don't
All right,
lie.
listen, by the way, Cavuto, special tonight.